The Ministry of Magic is a very unusual organization. They try to do what they think is good but are actually bad, corrupt, and really are the most backwards form of government. I just want to highlight that point again. They do what they think is the right thing, even though everyone can tell from a mile away that it's not. It's been that way for years, so it's kind of hard to want them to succeed. There's just so much corruption, and it starts right from the top with the Minister of Magic himself. Well, several of them, but we'll talk about that shortly. Even when Voldemort was mounting his assault on the Ministry, I was just like, am I supposed to feel sorry for the Ministry? Let me tell you what I mean. Probably the most notable minister was Cornelius Fudge. Now, he was a complete disgrace of a human being, a complete disgrace of a wizard, and a complete disgrace of a politician. He was the biggest people pleaser and literally done everything to sweep issues under the rug instead of dealing with them head on. He was so terrified of Voldemort's return that he adamantly denied it publicly several times, despite the clear signs of the Dark Lord's presence in the wizarding world. Through the use of the Daily Prophet, he smeared the reputations of Harry Potter and Albus Dumbledore, the latter of which was one of, if not the most respected wizard of the age. He twisted the rules to have Harry expelled from Hogwarts, holding an unnecessary and rather ridiculous full Wizengamot trial for a case of underage magic, of which eventually seen Harry cleared of all charges. And then he goes and has Dumbledore removed from his own position as Chief Warlock of the Wizengamot. The man was single-handedly responsible for Voldemort having the best part of a year to rebuild his forces unopposed and with ease. He resigned in disgrace and will go down as probably the worst minister in history. Now, his successor wasn't much better, although not as much a frightful coward. Rufus Scrimgeour was well respected from his days as an Auror. However, he was basically trying to limit damage control and ended up creating a false sense of security and safety, when in truth, he was making little to no progress in the war against Voldemort. He even tried to convince Harry to be the Ministry's poster boy, to install a sense of calmness, to which Harry quickly rejected. Rufus was killed by Voldemort when he refused to talk about Harry's whereabouts, perhaps a case of the right man, just in the wrong job. Now, we can't just blame the ministers for how badly the government was run. It was badly run as an organisation. So let's just look at the Wizarding World for example. The Wizarding World is portrayed as this amazing place where dreams come true and happy creatures all live in harmony, and you could become a great and powerful wizard while attending this awesome school of magic. No, hell no. That is not how it is at all. The Wizarding World is an awful place. It's a place that's stuck in a period of time, refusing to move forward and accept change. It's the centuries of creature segregation, be it goblins, elves, werewolves, giants. It's the segregation of magical people, be it purebloods, half-bloods, and muggleborns. It's just a completely divided world, and it all stems from how the Ministry of Magic is run. Let's just go back to the creatures for a moment. They refused to look at any creatures who displayed human intelligence as even equal-minded. Instead, they were given the honourable, respectable title of near human intelligence. Even goblins were second-rate creatures and could not have wands. It was an actual law. Same goes for elves. They were slaves and servants to wizards for centuries, displayed amazing human intelligence and had a special magic of their own, but, like goblins, were also labelled creatures of near human intelligence. We're not stopping there, guys. If corrupt and weak ministers aren't enough, if the derogatory treatment of intelligent creatures isn't enough, well, we can take a look at the laws followed by further corruption. Okay, laws. Well, for starters, the Ministry just brought in whatever laws that were recommended to them by officials supposedly specializing in the area. like not allowing werewolves to work full-time jobs, despite Remus Lupin showing he was more than capable, and despite the invention of wolfsbane. Instead, werewolves were made out as a danger to society, a risk, unemployable, which is why I'm not surprised he never revealed his condition to many. Oh, and how about how they abused the judicial system, just letting people off the hook for horrific crimes in exchange for information on other Death Eaters. Oh, you committed the smallest minor crime that really didn't hurt anybody? Well, that's 6 months in Azkaban. Oh, you're a Death Eater who tortured and murdered people while assisting in an attempted coup of the Ministry. Well, that's gonna be life imprisonment for you. Oh wait, did you say you've information on Voldemort and other Death Eaters? Death Eaters just like you, who've committed crimes just as bad as you? Okay, please go free and we'll arrest the other Death Eaters for committing the same crime as you. But you can go free, because we want the other Death Eater who's committed the same crime as you. Oh, and take a goodie bag with you, and please apply to be the principal of a magical school while you're at it. It's absolutely ridiculous. How about when they employ people who are nowhere near qualified, but because they have influence in the magical sector, will give them a high-ranking job? Case in point, Lucius Malfoy, who paid his way to the top of the Ministry ranks with multiple donations and was far too cozy with the Minister for Magic. He also manipulated Cornelius Fudge while in power and was highly influential over his decisions, basically coaxing Fudge's ego. Oh, and if you want to keep looking at employees, they had some of the worst, like who let Dolores Umbridge work there? Someone who arranged a Dementor attack against a boy, with the hoped for end result being for him to receive the Dementor's kiss. Are you kidding me? Or what about Corbin Yaxley, another nasty piece of work who made many employees' lives a misery? Poor Reg. We all felt sorry for Reg. They have many high-ranking officials who are all low-key, pure-blood supremacists as well, and it just seems like the Ministry and the wizarding world are stuck in a time loop where they refuse to accept change and won't like the evolution of new taking place. It just seems like the whole organization, the whole government basically was a dark place to work. Even Albus Dumbledore refused the role of Minister for Magic due to the temptation of power and corruption, given the exception that Dumbledore was a power junkie, but he still knew what he was going to be surrounded by if he took the job. They're also a people-pleasing government. That's the worst part. They've shown that they want quick fixes and cover-ups rather than getting to the bottom of things. They abused their influence they had over the Daily Prophet, twisting stories to their advantage. They just wanted to look the part and appear to be in control. Speaking of abusing influence and power, they'd also pick and choose when they want to inflict punishment and to what level. Cornelius Fudge, the prime example again. Now, I talked about this earlier, but let's just sum it up with these two comparisons. So he lets Harry off with blowing up Aunt Marge to the size of a giant balloon, which sees her float down the street in plain view for everyone, but then has Harry expelled for trying to save his and Dudley's life against the Mentors. It's no surprise that the Ministry was overthrown so easily. All of the high-ranking officials were out for themselves. In today's times, the Ministry is in better hands, but it definitely doesn't cancel out so many years of corruption and deceit. Anyway guys, with that being said, that's my take on why the Ministry of Magic was so corrupt and such an evil, dark place to work. I know I got a bit heated with some of my points, but it literally drives me crazy at how bad that organisation was run. Thank you all for watching as usual, and I'll see you all in the very next video.